Good evening, and welcome to the last supermoon of 2020. Tonight's full moon is in the sign of Scorpio. Now, before we get started, if you have never celebrated a full moon before, or even if you're a pro, there's no right or wrong way on how you acknowledge this tonight. First, I just want to suggest that you find a comfortable place to sit or lie down. I want this area to be in a quiet spot where you can spend the next few minutes reflecting and allowing your inner thoughts and feelings to essentially take over. If you're able to sit outside under the moon, that's beautiful, but I also understand that everything's circumstantial, so even if you're laying in your bed or you've found a quiet spot in the corner of the living room, that's okay. There's no wrong or right way on how you use this time. If you are outside or if you have the opportunity to use some outdoor space, I do suggest taking your crystals outside to recharge, jewelry that's important to you, or anything that you feel like needs to be energetically cleansed. So with that, find this comfortable spot, lie down, get comfortable, and let's reflect on the past 30 days. And the reason that we're going to start there is because Scorpio rules things like death, transformation, and growth. And in order to do all of those things, we must acknowledge the past first in order to get us to the future. So sit with your emotions for the past 30 days and acknowledge what comes up. Think about what you've done, how you felt. Maybe situations are coming up in your mind pretty prominently about what the last 30 days have held for you. I want you to acknowledge even the stuff we don't like to think about, the anxiety, the sadness, the anger. While you're reflecting on the past 30 days, you might be sitting there smiling right now. You might have tears starting to come down your face. There's no right or wrong way. I just want you to acknowledge where you've been. From here, let's talk about what the full moon means. And I'm going to give an analogy. Okay, you were sleeping and you wake up and you head to the kitchen. And because it's the middle of the night, you don't want to turn on the lights, but you're looking for a cup. And so think about kind of blindly walking through, right? Touching things, trying to figure it out. Where's my cup? And then you turn on a flashlight. Okay, this is where the full moon comes in. Once you turn on the flashlight, it's really easy to find that cup because the flashlight sheds light into the room, onto the situation. And that's exactly what the full moon does. It's like the universe is turning on a flashlight and amplifying our emotions, the situations at hand. I feel that that's why there's a joke about, the crazies coming out, if you will, around the full moon. Because it brings attention to, it brings focus to. It's no different than standing on a dark stage and poof, the spotlights come on. Now it's easy to see. Now it's easy to feel. So if you've been in a heightened state the last few days, or even if you're in a heightened state the next few days to come. Give yourself permission. This is the universe shedding a spotlight on what you need to acknowledge and what you need to feel. So with that, because Scorpio specifically rules the transformation and the rebirth and the death and the whole idea of the cycle and seasons of life, it's so important with this moon to acknowledge where we've been in order to move forward. So go back to those thoughts about what the last 30 days held for you. And I want you to imagine, having a little pair of scissors. And what do you need to cut out? What do you need to release? What do you need to let go of? To allow yourself to blossom, right? We're in the flower moon, to blossom in order to move forward the next 30 days. The moon cycles, this is a 28-day cycle that we go through. So this is very, I'll say quick, very fast. So when you're giving yourself goals for the next 30 days, be realistic. Be kind to yourself about what you're expecting from yourself in such a short period. These will seem like small goals or small steps, but that's perfect because you will be able to obtain them before we celebrate the full moon next month. So go back with your scissors, right? And what are you cutting? What are you cutting away? What are you releasing in order to see some growth and transformation as we move forward? So let me go back to what I said about the small things. I don't want you to say, I'm cutting out all anxiety. Maybe it's, I'm cutting out anxiety around, and then fill in the topic. So something as small as, I'm cutting down anxiety with the dogs being on the couch. I acknowledge that I cannot control everything. Okay? Something simple of what you're going to cut away. I want you to sit with those emotions for a moment. Now let's think about the next 30 days. What do you want to experience? How do you want to grow? How do you want to blossom? Think about these things. Sit with the emotions that come up when you think about what you are going to take away from tonight. This is a personal experience, so there's no right, there's no wrong, there's no too big, there's no too small. From here, I want you to repeat these affirmations after me. I feel comfortable in my state of transition. I am safe and I am loved. I understand that in order to grow, I need to release. I love myself the way I am. And with that, I want you to take a few deep breaths. I want you to enjoy the space that you're in. Acknowledge the moon, acknowledge the universe for giving us these cycles to live our lives with. with light and love. Good night.